We are WolfPack. The problem that WolfPack is trying to solve is that invisible populations, mainly the homeless, face mental and societal barriers that prevent them from successfully integrating and surviving within a community. Although it may seem like there are a lot of resources available to the homeless, very few take into account these barriers and adversities that homeless people have to overcome to escape homelessness. And that is what WolfPack aims to solve by providing a token based gig economy that provides an accessible labor market, identification, work history, personalized wallet, wage self protection, and financial empowerment to the homeless. Before we started building WolfPack, it was really important that we not only understood our users, but we understood the nonprofit organizations that would help build our ecosystem. We have directly spoken with 8 nonprofits and several city council members about the scalability and implementation of WolfPack, including taking part in the Point in Time Everyone Counts survey, where we interviewed several chronically homeless individuals to understand pain points and needs. Our partnership with the above organizations have aided in our ability to not only create a proof of concept for WolfPack, but also validate assumptions and gain support from the nonprofit community. Out of the 3,943 individuals that identified as homeless in the 2009 Point in Time survey collection, the goal of focus for our pilot program is the 53 veterans that identified as unsheltered and chronically homeless. This is Joe, our user persona. He's a veteran. He's also chronically homeless, which means he's been in and out of homelessness for at least a year. He's got no bank account and he's got no ID. Many homeless individuals are very afraid of being identified or having a form of identification because they're afraid of being persecuted for the sole act of being homeless. So out of fear for their safety, they choose to stay invisible and unidentified. The problem with this, though, is that Joe now can't get a bank account. He doesn't have an identification and he doesn't have a physical permanent address. A lot of veterans who are homeless have undiagnosed or untreated PTSD. Because of this, he's got a substance abuse problem. He's also got no family. One of the biggest indicators of why somebody leaving the military would result in becoming homeless is because they were either unmarried or had no family support system. He's also vulnerable to wage theft. One of the nonprofits that we spoke with, El Centro Humanitario, said that 6 out of 10 day laborers in the state of Colorado last year said that they experienced wage theft from their employer. He also knows that there's limited VA resources. Currently in the VA budget, there is not a lot allocated to combat veteran homelessness. Their main priorities are fixing the VA medical system with very little financial support left over to deal with the resources that are required for veterans who are experiencing homelessness. So what do we do? Well, because Joe is a veteran homeless individual, we choose to meet him at events where he is most likely already to be found. So stand downs are outreach events where veterans can get access to immediate on-site services and VA healthcare and benefits. They are local collaborative events, and the government agencies and community-based service providers are usually there offering resources. We also have Project Homeless Connect. This is a once a time year where all the nonprofits who serve homeless individuals get together to help those experiencing homelessness create resumes and apply for jobs, get access to resources or sign up for IDs. We also have neighborhood coffee talks. These are put on by the Mile High United Way staff members, and they go out into the homeless encampments once a month during the summer. They bring coffee, breakfast, and bagels, and the whole goal is to build community and relationships and allow those individuals living in the encampment to know about resources that they can access. Each one of these is a perfect opportunity for WolfPack to get involved with the homeless community and onboard them to our program. So what does the user flow look like? Well, we onboard in locations where we already know that our users will feel the most comfortable and familiar with. So we have avenues and infrastructures that already take place that allows for the user to be onboarded much easier. So we start by meeting Joe at one of these onboarding events. We encourage Joe to sign up by using incentivized onboarding methodology. What this means is that he's earning his first reward just for signing up. This is a similar concept to if you signed up for Robinhood and you received a free stock, or if you signed up for a new credit card and got a sign-up bonus. The simple act of signing up is his first job worked. We give Joe a physical wolf token, and we scan that unique QR code on the back, which brings him to an Ethereum wallet. A WolfPack employee scans the code, and Joe creates an account with an email and a 4-digit PIN. The reason why we chose an email is when interviewing nonprofits and doing the point-in-time survey collection, they said, if you can get an email, that is gold. Get an email over a phone number because an email is much more likely to follow an individual for years. Phone numbers change in and out. So now Joe has earned his first $5 and he's now a member of the pack and he starts as a wolf pup. We have chosen to use physical coins and a phone so that if our user were to lose one, they could rely on the other and vice versa. If they lose both, they would work with a WolfPack employee to reactivate their account. They can now take their newly earned $5 and buy a cup of coffee at a participating vendor. Employment and vendor partnerships. Our initial vendors and employers will be with organizations that are already familiar and or accustomed to working with the homeless. This allows for our wolf pups to earn reputation in environments where they're the most likely to succeed. Every single one of these vendors and or employers that you see on this screen specifically focuses on helping people coming from disadvantaged backgrounds. Same Cafe, The Network, Cafe 180, Graceful Cafe, these are all locations that allow you to pay for what you can afford for a meal basis. If you can't afford a meal, they'll give it to you for free. Purple Crown Coffee Roasters specifically focuses on employing homeless youth, and Cafe United, which is a cafe in the ground floor of Mile High United Way, works on giving work opportunities and training skills to women that come from high-risk situations, and that's including incarceration, homelessness, or fleeing domestic or sexual abuse. So we know that we'll have a greater success for our Wolf Pup members if they're being onboarded and their first working opportunities are with employers that are comfortable and familiar with working with somebody that has the disabilities of being a homeless individual. So what does this look like for future state? Well, the goal of working with partners who are accustomed to working with homeless individuals is that we allow them to build a reputation in an environment where they feel the most safe and will have the greatest chance of success. So WolfPack applies game thinking so that users are presented with a journey-first design. So what we do is we start with small, achievable goals, and then they're able to gain reputation. And by building relationships, they're able to get nominated or graduated to the next level of the WolfPack system. So every user comes in as a wolf pup, but then they move up to a beta wolf. So if they work their first shift completed, that's a wolf pup award. If they go to their first AA meeting, that's a Wolf Pup award. But when they start to move to their first 40 hours worked award, they've now become a beta wolf. And the transition from working with one of our partnered vendors who's used to working with somebody homeless is that when they feel that that individual is ready, they'll give them the above and beyond award. Our future state goal is that we can open up our individuals to employment opportunities at King Soopers, Goodwill, Starbucks. Comeback Yoga is actually a program that gives yoga teacher certification to veterans suffering from PTSD. We also have Veterans to Farmers, which is another work opportunity. We also plan to partner with the city. It could be an option where a community or neighborhood could sponsor a wolf pack group to do a street cleaning project or a community garden, with the ultimate goal of them moving through the system and doing it in a very achievable way. Our awards can be directly tied to usable tokens. So a community member can sponsor a WolfPack individual. So when you see the first 40 hours worked award, I could be a sponsor for whoever receives that award and sponsor them with something like a new pair of shoes. If they make it to the full employment award, I could be a local bike shop in the city of Denver and say, if a WolfPack member makes it to this, I would love to donate them a bicycle. So now they have transportation to and from their a place of employment. So now we move into what is the actual value that WolfPack is providing? Well, we start by creating a crypto wallet to store assets that cannot be converted into cash. This was a very specific distinction because we wanted to pull cash out of the ecosystem. The less cash that's available, the less likelihood that an individual will buy drugs or something that's not beneficial to them. But what we are providing is way more buying potential. One of the biggest restrictions with food stamps and snaps is that you really can't buy a lot with it. You can't buy a haircut, you can't buy a meal at a restaurant, you can't buy toothpaste or, medical equipment if you might need it. But with our token, you can. We now have allowed users to create a work history. One of the biggest issues that a lot of homeless individuals face is that they don't have resumes. They don't have people that can advocate for their work history. But now by building a reputation with our vendors and employers, they have that now. And then we use blockchain to prevent wage theft. Every transaction is recorded. Every work shift is a contract that's recorded. And what this does is it ultimately engages users on both sides. So with the local community and governments to change the perception of homeless. Right now, we spend about $40,000 a year on each homeless individual in the United States, but we don't have a return on investment for that. We can't show that $40,000 in equated to $40,000 out. If anything, in current state, the amount of money that we're spending on homelessness has actually grown the homeless population. Our program can not only show hours worked by every homeless individual, but it can show money spent and contributed back into the local economy. So by being a part of WolfPack, we now have data to show that homeless individuals are an active part of our community, and they are in fact contributing to our local economy. Our ROI exists not only in dollars spent, but we believe any member who progresses through our program has a higher rate of success when it comes to competing for things like long-term sustainable housing. We know that a housing first model is the most ideal, but it's unlikely that we have enough available long-term housing for every homeless individual. So when those competitions arise for resources, why not give them to somebody that's earned their way, that's tried to better themselves, and have made their way through our program? So this is our tech stack. Leveraging decentralization, WolfPack uses the speed of graph and IPFS to store profiles, comments, and the data around types of work or goods and services sold. All contracts are written in Solidity, and we use React as our front end. We are demonstrating using a custom WolfPack token to act as a stablecoin, as we model our token after XDAI. The WolfPack platform runs on any device or no device, as in the case of homeless individuals who might lose their phone or token. Within our presentation, you can see our WolfPup onboarding screens, as well as our vendor onboard, as well as all of our GitHub code. We've also created a business plan and an account sheet. We do believe in the implementation and scalability of WolfPack, and so to show our dedication to this project, we've created the cost of what we believe it will take to launch and what its long-term scalability looks like. Our team is actually really diverse. We've got 2 developers and 2 UX designers. 3 of us are based here in Denver, and 1 is based in India. So that is our project WolfPack. All of these links on this screen are clickable that you can see in our presentation. So if you want to see our financial charts, our process map, our graphical prototype, as well as all of our GitHub information, that can be found here. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, alex@indigotheory.io. Thank you.